welcome back to my channel. I'm Shauna Patterson and today I'm going to be sharing with you all the venues that we looked at when we went wedding venue shopping. Wedding venue shopping was such a fun experience for me, and because we got engaged in October and I knew we likely wanted an outdoor themed venue, at least the ceremony space, I knew that we really had to jump onto looking at wedding venues so that we could go do site visit tours, and it wasn't super cold and all the foliage and all the leaves and everything were completely gone, so I knew I wanted to hop on it right away. I'm not joking when I say I probably reached out to about 45 different venues, because until you reach out to them, almost all venues don't display their pricing online, so you really have absolutely no idea if you're coming into it fresh and how much each particular venue really works out to. So I created a spreadsheet on my wedding planner to really divide up the cost of the venue, but not only the cost of renting the venue, also if it requires you to use in-house catering teams and in-house bartending teams, and other times they would allow you to bring in your own vendor so that way you could shop around for a catering team. Some of the venues were really a la carte, so you had to bring in everything, the tables, the chairs, cups, plates, everything. A lot of the time the caterer brings in the cups or the plates if you're bringing your own caterer in, but still just like a completely blank slate, because it might be a really enticing upfront venue cost to rent the venue, but you get like bare bones nothing. So of those heaps of venues that I reached out to, a lot of them I was able to just eliminate right off the bat because of pricing. And then once I started eliminating venues based on budget, I would then eliminate them based on their ceremony and reception spaces. So I really had to take a good look at each of the venues, and I like looked on Instagram to see people who have visited this space what the actual venue would look like, because sometimes the venue just puts out these super fancy photos and you want to actually see what it would be like to actually be a guest at the venue. I was really particularly looking for something that had a nice outdoor ceremony space, so that was a big factor in making our decision, and that was one thing that I didn't want to sacrifice on. We narrowed it down to our top, I believe, top 5 or 6 venues to actually go and visit in person and just kind of experience the vibe, get to know the venue a little bit more, and then we'd make our decision. I got lots of footage from each of the venues that we toured, so I will insert those clips now and hope you guys enjoy. This is Cellar 52 in St. Jacobs, Ontario, just outside of Kitchener. I'm pretty sure it used to be an old hotel that they've converted into an event space. So right off the main entrance, there is the main ballroom where the reception would be held, the indoor bar right over there, and then a space for a dance floor right in front of the bar. There are some washrooms down that hallway, which is just behind the ceremony space option, which is right in front of the fireplaces. And I'm sure that area could also be flipped into another seating area for the reception as well. There were rooms upstairs for the bride and groom's getting ready areas. This was the larger space upstairs, more of like a communal lunchroom, I think. I didn't get any footage of the separate bride and groom rooms, but they were really nice and had lots of natural light. My favorite part of this venue was the outdoor courtyard that could be used in warmer weather as the cocktail area, and it has this really cute outdoor bar coach house area that you could use as well. And I believe this space also doubles as a ceremony space, so you could close the large doors to the coach house and set up an altar in front of the doors and have an outdoor ceremony seating area as well. The third option for a ceremony space is down by the river, but you have to walk through the parking lot to get to it with all these surrounding buildings and back of house areas, which we didn't really like. My fiance and I both really wanted to get married outdoors in a nature inspired setting, so we came to look at this because they also offered this outdoor ceremony space surrounded by trees. The downside, it is a public space. You would obviously get the appropriate permits, so you could basically tell anyone to leave, but you could potentially run into the scenario of like someone having a picnic on the other side of the river. Next, we went to Brantview Apple Orchard, which is right between Cambridge and Brantford, Ontario. They had this really cute pavilion where you'd have your reception with that bar area against the wall there. There is a very small bridal room through that door on the left of the bar for your wedding party to store their belongings and maybe do some touch-ups, but larger parties definitely wouldn't be able to use this room. It's just too small. The area outside of the pavilion right next to it is a lovely cocktail area, and then the ceremony space at this venue is outside in the field surrounded by the orchard on all sides. We checked out Inn on the 20 in Jordan because again they had a nice outdoor ceremony space option. This was the first reception area we viewed, and the second reception area option is up this grand staircase on the second floor. This ballroom was definitely my preference of the two. It had a separate room that could be used as a bar area. had a nice view through those windows, but the dance floor we felt was in an awkward spot off in the corner. Might be awkward for things like first dances and for guests to be able to see those things. I like the exposed wood ceilings. I thought that was a really nice touch. And then the vineyard ceremony space here felt like it was about a 15-minute drive from the reception venue, so logistic-wise, guests would need to travel between the two. They have this cute little barn on site that could be used as a ceremony space. And then they also have this backup building out in the vineyard that could be used in case of rain. Here's the first ceremony spot out in the vineyard. This one has a backdrop of trees. Obviously, due to the time of year that we were looking at the venue, the greenery obviously isn't very lush. That just has to do with the weather. And I'm sure in the spring and summer, everything is a lot more lush. So just keep that in mind if you're like, why are all the plants dead? The second vineyard ceremony option was surrounded by a vineyard on all sides, and that was really pretty as well. Next, we checked out Club Roma. This one was in St. Catharines, I believe. I really liked their outdoor pavilion for their reception. It looked really unique and had these gray glass walls that could be closed on a couple of the sides in case of inclement weather. The ceremony space was okay. Again, it was an outdoor ceremony space, but we didn't love it. Depending on the day that you get married, there could quite literally be a soccer game happening right outside of your reception area and ceremony space. So that was a little bit concerning. The next thing that really pushed us away from this venue was the surrounding buildings. Fortunately, there was a new large apartment kind of seniors home complex directly beside the outdoor space where the ceremony would take place. It kind of just killed the vibe for us, but I'm sure lots of people could look past that. One of our top 3 venues was Pillar and Post in Niagara-on-the-Lake. When we went to check out the space, they were just constructing this brand new barn for the reception space. We were quoted a really good price actually, but I know this venue has since bumped up their pricing to use the barn. Really liked this reception area. It had washrooms in the barn, kitchen in the back, and a bar in the main area, and you could have cocktails on the terrace space beside the barn, which would be stunning. And it was run by the Pillar and Post Hotel, so accommodations for guests would be right on site, and all the catering alcohol is packaged with the venue. We didn't love the ceremony space. Even Jake was like flat out, no, don't like it. So we would have had to potentially organize another ceremony space nearby that would have more suited us, which meant guests again would need to travel to and from the ceremony and reception area. So that was one of the deciding factors for us. So that wraps up our venue tours. I didn't include the actual footage of the venue that we toured that we're actually gonna host our wedding at. Just leave it a bit as a surprise. Make sure to subscribe to see more wedding content, and I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.